Hi, Scott Orlin with Cinema-Magazin. Okay, all you Snowpiercer fans, season 2 is upon us, and I'm here with the star Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer, when we last left everybody, there was kind of a reconciliation on your part about everything that had kind of happened on the train and everything with your job. Where do we start with season 2?
Season 2 begins. She is outside the train where she went to repair something, and Big Alice arrives, and with that, a whole new set of dynamics and complications. Melanie may or may not board Big Alice, and there may or may not be some reunions. Well, yes, okay. In fact, there is a reunion with her daughter, Alex, and of course she sees Wilford, who she's been running from all of these years.
Let's just kind of delve into a little of those. I mean, obviously, how do you think the familial element, now this reunion with her daughter, is going to change not only your character, but the trajectory of her?
I think she was already on that path, right? I think that Leighton was a catalyst for her to take stock of what she had done. She didn't create the system that was in place on Snowpiercer, but she certainly perpetuated it, right? So she was complicit. So she abdicates power, and she starts sort of a process of reckoning and reconciliation, and sort of taking stock of what she's done, and getting back to her mission, her original mission and purpose. And that continues in a much deeper way when she is confronted by Alex, in a much more personal way. So that process continues. She's still she's more and more sort of focusing on her mission and the future by, sort of reconciling the past.
Every good protagonist needs a good antagonist. And obviously in this season 2, you talked about the addition of Wilford. Talk a bit about Scott Bean and what that character is going to bring now to season 2.
He is a pretty, he's a dangerous antagonist, I think, because he's so charming. He's not someone who advertises his villainy on his sleeve, so it's kind of insidious. He has a lot of support. He has a lot of support on Snowpiercer. There are a lot of people who have faith in him. And really his agenda is to destabilize Snowpiercer, but people welcome him in. So he's a really interesting and formidable adversary, who's just wreaking havoc while sort of, swanning around and having a whole lot of fun.
Little kids love to play with train sets. Now you're an adult and you're playing with a train set, but it's a little different. Talk a little bit about the realism of the set, because you're kind of constricted to one somewhat location, even though this train's really big. How realistic does it get in the terms of the movement, the feel?
I think they've done an incredible job on the design, and it's pretty remarkable because we have many sets built at the same time. We filmed in a studio, and we have different sound stages, and they have sets that stay erected in the different stages. From the outside, they all look the same. It's plywood. You see these like plywood rectangles, and then you go inside and there are these whole worlds that are so imaginative and diverse. So it's great. It's great being on those sets. I really admire the work that's done in the design and execution of the design. It's pretty phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, they're so detailed. The sets are so detailed that it's fun finding, it's inspiring being in them.
Your job description, especially with season 1, your hospitality and doing that. As a mom, I'm pretty sure you're pretty good at having to be good in hospitality, of coordinating events and all the other stuff. What do you think that the essential element of that job is? I mean, when you say hospitality, sometimes we think of, just at a hotel, but is there something specific about being able to make other people feel welcome?
Yeah, I mean, Melanie, of course, was using it as a way to be able to be in touch with the passengers, right? Because Actually, her role is engineer, but then she assumed this role of being the leader of the train. And then she, on top of that, assumed the role of hospitality so she could know what was happening on the train and have access to all of the train, and sort of hear the whisperings without people thinking that she was the person in charge. That said, yes, I think that, you know, she is successful and Ruth is successful in that role because she, you know, knows the details of everyone's life. She knows a little bit about everyone's story, so she can speak to them. She is familiar with them, makes everyone feel known and understood and recognized.
Well, Jennifer Connelly, as always, such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Snowpiercer Season 2. This is Scott. Till next time.